Hi everyone! Today you're going to see a really interesting video about TV men. And you know how I feel about them. I did a detailed analysis of the 13th season of Skibidi Toilet, and once again looked at the TV guys in a new way. Today I'm going to show you all the secret phrases they said. We'll deal with all the emotions and details that are related to TV men. Is it possible that the POV cameraman can be Plungerman? And why have we been shown plungers so often in these episodes? As usual, get your tea and snacks ready. This is going to be entertaining. Let's go! I'll briefly remind you that at the end of last season, the anti-parasite jeep was destroyed, as well as the hope of curing Titan Speakermen. And right after that episode starts, we see the Alliance begin to lose this war against the Skibidi Toilets. Although here's this cameraman giving Skibidi toilet slaps with his feet, and generally looking like he's just having fun. By the way, episode 39 was the first full-screen showing of Skibidi Toilet after episodes 1. And it was also the beginning of the second chapter of the whole show. I think Dafuq here is showing us that the forces are equal, but the Skibidi Toilets are winning a little bit. We see destroyed cameramen all around and one broken toilet. There was clearly a fight here before this. These jetpack toilets appear here for the first time. I think it's related to the fact that the Speakerman Titan was infected. After that, Skibidi scientists were able to research his jetpack and make similar technology for his soldiers. To be honest, I admire how the POV cameraman fights. He is clearly a well-trained agent. By the way, notice that this Skibidi has white eyes. Apparently that happens to them when they're in a rage, not just when they're dying. It's amazing that the POV uses a plunger, if you ask me, because from this season it's like Dafuq is hinting us at the appearance of the Plungerman. He didn't just find this plunger somewhere nearby and grabbed it before attacking, it was hanging from his belt. Still, I think it's a regular cameraman, since his shirt is white, while we know that Plungerman has a black one. But it's possible that this POV is him. Maybe Plunger Cameraman was a regular agent at first, but improved his skills and started fighting plungers in the future? Yeah, and he changed his shirt. Notice that Dafuq makes it clear here that Cameraman is a robot. We can see these blue discharges of electricity. But then why Cameraman's neck looks human is still unclear to me. If you look closely, you can notice the flush lever just hanging in the air at this point. That's what POV Cameraman uses to flush this Skibidi and win this 2 versus 1 battle. But bro was no longer ready to fight the third sneaky toilet that attacked him from behind. He's the powerful Skibidi who ripped the agent's camera off a little earlier. But luckily, a new Alliance agent, TV Man, comes around the corner. This is their very first public appearance, and it's very epic. Yes, we've seen their secret appearances long before, but it was just Easter eggs or something. TV Man appears to epic music that can only be heard in the short version of the episode. Also, if you watch the full season video, you'll hear this TV Man's secret phrase. He says, "Show must continue." And there are a few guesses as to why he says that phrase, but first, listen to it for yourself. My first assumption is that TV Man is just an ordinary Alliance agent and there is nothing unusual in his words. Maybe he's talking about the show because he's got a goddamn TV on his head. In that case, it's more likely that the leaders of TV Man and Cameraman have agreed to help each other and defeat Skibidi Toilets. But there's another theory, and it looks more mystical. What if the TV Men aren't regular agents, but some sort of creator assistants? To me, it sounds like an equalizer of power in this war. They're not interested in winning for either side. They're just helping Dafuq make this show interesting, and that's it. Now imagine the Skibidi Toilets start losing badly. What will these TV guys do then? That's exactly why I suspect them, although I don't know if you can call them traitors in that case. I mean, if they don't support either side in a war and just make sure the forces are equal, then the TV guys can't betray anyone. But we see them fighting on the Alliance side, we see them destroying Skibidi Toilets, but not attacking agents. I think if they suddenly change sides and help Skibidi Toilets, they could be considered traitors, not gonna lie. It's also weird that at the beginning, TV Man started shining a light right in the POV cameraman's face. It looks like he was trying to hypnotize him, but for some reason it didn't work. Perhaps TV Men can choose on whose mind they're going to control? This cameraman is also next to the Skibidi Toilets. Supposedly hypnosis should work on him too, but apparently it doesn't work that way. There's a big overturned toilet here, and that's where TV Man came from, by the way. I think there's a chance he hypnotized and quietly destroyed this guy before helping us out here. Also, Notice the big black thing right here. What do you think it is? Is it just me, or does it look like a big black camera? Maybe one of the camera spiders fought here before and was destroyed, who knows? When TV Man started his hypnosis, the gray Skibidi Toilet's eyes just turned white. Also, all the Skibidi just stand there shaking while TV emits this blue light. Apparently, this cameraman keeps doing everything just for fun. Look how elegantly he walked up to his opponent and flushed him. Oscar definitely needs this guy. I found another weird detail in this episode. Check it out! Remember how the POV cameraman flushed Skibidi with a plunger on his face? If you're wondering what happened to that plunger, it's fine. It's still sticking out of the toilet. But then something strange happens, because a second after that, the plunger disappears. It's definitely not a frame splice, because it disappears very smoothly and slowly. Do you think Dafuq wanted to say something with this, or it's just a random secret? Write in the comments, I'll be interested to read. POV flushes Skibidi Toilet, and we see some kind of chin holder inside, or what is that? Next, the cameraman shows a like, and I hope you remembered to do the same under this video. TV Man responds by showing a friendly wink emoji on his screen. Yeah, it's a little weird, but it's the only way to show emotion for these guys. I think overall there's nothing suspicious here. It looks like they've come to the aid of the cameramen, and that's it. Okay, let's break down episode 40, because we're seeing already a few TV men in there. But before we do, I want to show you another interesting detail from episode 49 that I missed in my old video. Notice those two white square lights in the distance? At first they look kind of weird, but here they look like the glow of two big TV men watching from afar. And at this point, I think they teleported away because the glow is gone. Okay, that was just a little distraction. Let's get back to season 13. At the very beginning, I noticed a very strange detail, and I'm sure you haven't noticed it before. Why is that Speakerman's speaker turned toward his back? It looks like someone did a 180-degree spin on his speaker, or in other words, snapped his neck. I highly doubt the Skibidi Toilets could do something like that, since they don't even have arms. Last episode, we saw this guy rip off the camera, and that's the most they can do. The cameramen wouldn't do something like that either. I'm sure of these guys. But then we're left with the TV men. This is the second suspicious thing, but so far nothing proves to us that TV men can be traitors, rather the opposite. When we look at their actions, it looks like they're helping the Alliance. Also, this cameraman is lying with his camera ripped off right at TV Man's feet. But never mind, it's unlikely this guy did it. By some unknown coincidence, there are two plungers lying next to the POV cameraman. Apparently, these guys used them as weapons again, but it didn't help them win the fight, unfortunately. On one of the parts, you can notice this yellow sign. We saw it on the tower in episode 50 as well. There's nothing unusual here. It's just the sign of the Black Mesa Corporation from the Half-Life game. POV cameraman decides that a plunger would be a great weapon for him, and I really don't understand why. Yes, Plungerman is a legend, but plungers aren't weapons at all. Agents need to handle it well and be strong enough to win that way. I mean, not every ordinary cameraman could become a legend just by picking up a damn plunger. But this guy isn't even given a chance to prove himself in battle. It's like TV Man is pushing him out of the way with his mind power. Let's try to understand what he said, because I didn't fully understand it. Listen. I think he said, "do what you're on," but I'm not sure about the second half of that sentence. If you managed to realize what he said, write it in the comments. I think TV Man is saying this to his guys because they are the ones who enter the fight next. First, the usual TV Man gives us a camera protection. But there's one important detail. Last episode, the cameramen were unprotected, but TV Man's glow didn't affect them at all. But okay, maybe it has something to do just with the big guy's white glow. By the way, I noticed this building, and we already saw it from a different angle in episode 37. Or is it just a similar building? Okay, the big TV Man enters the battle and turns on his white glow. By the way, his extra TVs extend from behind his back, and similar technology was made to the new Titan TV Man. I also noticed that the TV Man is taller than the regular cameramen. Compare them for yourself. I already said that the white glow looks very painful and annoying to everyone who sees it. Skibidi Toilets get blinded and can't fight because of it. But I don't understand why they can't just close their eyes. Is this light so strong that it affects their brain or hypnotizes them? I don't know. That being said, Speakerman doesn't worry about anything in this world at all. He just calmly flushes his opponents. We have already seen many times that Speakerman is not affected by bright light. It happens only to the subject who has eyes or camera. TV Man smiles enigmatically again at the end, and it looks even a bit cute, to be honest. I was actually very surprised when I watched this season for the first time because the events here develop very quickly. In each new episode, we are shown new characters with unusual abilities. And in the final 41st episode, we see Titan TV Man for the first time. And how huge and strong he is, oh my god. But let's go over everything in order. TV Man walks by the POV and tells him to put on protection. Listen for yourself. Notice that this time the POV already has protection and just pulls it out of his pocket. I guess this means that TV Man has already made a deal with the Alliance and teamed up. Exactly the same thing is done by this guy who is sitting across from him. But here, Speakerman doesn't need a defense at all, as always. Here, there are two destroyed cameramen again and again. I don't understand who could have done this to them. There's a large squad of Skibidi Toilets walking right behind TV Man, and it looks like they've been lured into a trap. Notice that they're just walking straight ahead and not paying any attention to POV, and it's so goofy. Also notice that the Skibidi helicopters now don't wear glasses at all, even though they used to. I think in the early episodes it had nothing to do with TV. The helicopters were just a parody of Andrew Tate, nothing more. But here's this cameraman who had camera protection still left a lot of questions for me. But okay, what about this Skibidi crowd? First of all, there's a Skibidi triple bathtub here, and I have no idea why they invented that. It's hardly more effective in combat than the old famous toilet, but okay. Notice how this guy was looking at his friend, and didn't notice the huge Titan appearing in front of him. He didn't even realize he should be scared at first, but he was still scared in the end. TV Man goes somewhere in the black fog and disappears there, and the incredible Titan TV Man shows up in front of us. If you listen to what he says, you can hear all toilets will die. Yeah, it sounds like he's 100% on the Alliance side. TV men are generally suspicious guys, but so far they've done nothing wrong. Everything I say about them is just my speculation, nothing more. So I don't know if they'll turn out to be traitors or not, but I'll be interested to see what happens either way. Titan turns on the red light, and it's the strongest TV glow I've seen on this show. I think it's so disgusting to the opponents that they'll do anything to avoid seeing it. I discussed in great detail what it is and other interesting things about Titan TV Man in my other video. I highly suggest you watch it, by the way. All the Skibidi Toilets are flushing themselves just from this radiation, and it's weird, I think. Why don't they just turn around and not look at it? Maybe that glow has a hypnotic ability and they can't take their eyes off if they've already started looking there, but it does a lot of damage to them, and so they'd rather flush themselves than look at this stuff. So TV Titan destroyed an entire squad of Skibidi Toilets just by showing them a movie or something. Remember the Speakerman right here next to the cameraman? Now it seems like he decided to go somewhere else. Maybe he couldn't bear to watch such a horrible spectacle. It's also unclear to me how Skibidi Triple Bathtub was able to flush themselves because it's not even a toilet. Well, in the next episode, we come face to face with a very strange Skibidi Toilet. He is silent and behaves very strangely. But we'll talk about that in the next episode. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Also, I recommend you to visit my additional channels about multiverse. There are also a lot of interesting things to watch. And that was me, ISOTOILET. See ya!